Alright, my dear children of class 11 science, so we do continue with the topic that is velocity of a flux of a liquid. Okay, so in the last YouTube video we have done up to this relation saying that the velocity at the free surface of the liquid will be 0. That means that this liquid at free surface remains at rest. Okay, when the orifice has a very small area of cross section. Okay, so this is the assumption which is made. Now what I am going to do now, I am going to apply Bernoulli's theorem, because as the Bernoulli's theorem applies, we apply on two surfaces. One is at free surface, another is at orifice. So the total energy, as per Bernoulli's theorem, the total energy per unit volume at the free surface and the orifice must remain same. So as I said already that according to Bernoulli's theorem, the sum of total energy means pressure is also of energy. Pressure, energy per unit volume, they simply called sum of pressure, and total energy per unit volume at free surface is equals to sum of pressure and total energy per unit volume at orifice. Okay. Now, if you look at the diagram, okay, if you go through the diagram, what is the pressure exerting at the free surface? That is the atmospheric pressure. So I write on P plus at the free surface. Okay. Now, as I said, the velocity of the liquid at free surface is 0. So when the velocity of liquid at free surface is 0, as I said already, the kinetic energy is 0. So I write on kinetic energy 0. So I am writing 0, and this 0 is actually the kinetic energy per unit volume at the what surface? Free surface. Plus the potential energy is there because of the height. And what is the height of the liquid at the free surface from the bottom of the basin? Capital H. So the potential energy per unit volume is given by rho, G and capital H. So G is the association to gravity, rho is the density of liquid. So these two energy sum is equals to the pressure, the total sum of pressure and the total energy per unit volume at orifice. And at orifice also, what is the pressure which is exerting? Atmospheric pressure. And the same atmospheric pressure exerted, that is P. Plus, okay, half rho. Okay, I have already considered the velocity at the orifice is what? B2 and with square. So this is the what energy? Kinetic energy per unit volume at the orifice. Plus, now there is a potential energy acquired by the liquid at the orifice. So children, if you look at this diagram, at orifice, liquid acquire kinetic energy also, potential energy also, and pressure energy. Pressure energy means atmospheric pressure as I have written. Kinetic energy also I have written, but the potential energy is due to the height. And what is the height of the liquid that is coming out from the orifice, from the bottom? Capital H minus H. Okay, so that it acquire also what energy? Potential energy. And this potential energy is given by rho, the density is same, rho, gravity is also same, and the height now is H, capital H minus small h. Capital H minus small h. Now, after applying the Bernoulli's theorem, you can see the expression on both the sides. This pressure and pressure will cancel out. So what is remaining? Rho G H on the left hand side. Now it is 1 by 2 rho B2 square. Okay, let me write B2 square plus, let me open the bracket, rho G and capital H. Now plus into minus is minus, rho G what? Small letter h. So if you agree at the expression also, this and this 2 cancel out, because same quantity both sides cancel out. Now I take this quantity in the left hand side. It will be rho G H equals to half rho B2 square. Now I write down at orifice the liquid which come out with a velocity, that velocity I consider B2, but I write down that at orifice B2 I consider as B2 I consider as what? B. Okay, now B2 means also the velocity at the orifice, but I consider by the symbol what? B. And this is the velocity of a flux. Okay, a flux of a liquid. But where? It is at the orifice. So if I write B2 as B, then I write down that rho GH equals to half rho, this is B square only. So rho and rho cancel out. If you cross multiply, I can write this as B square equals to 2GH. See, 2 will go and multiply with GH, so it will be 2GH, and so it will be 2GH equals to B square, which is same as B square equals to 2GH. but I make b as the subject. On the other hand, you have to give square root. So square root of 2gh. Square root of what? 2gh. So you can see the expression that we made from this Bernoulli's theorem, that is b, the velocity of liquid which is coming out from the orifice, is how much? B equals to square root of 2gh. Now this formula was actually established by the scientist called Torricelli in the year 1644, and we call also as Torricelli theorem. So children, remember this Torricelli theorem basically measures the velocity of efflux of a liquid coming out from the orifice. Now Torricelli, children, also assume that if a body is dropped freely from this height h, that is from the free surface, then this body also falls with a velocity, and that velocity of the body will reach to this height h, covering a distance h. So that body also move with the velocity, and that velocity of the body is also determined by the equation of motion. You know, equation of motion means there are three equation of motion. So we can derive the equation of motion also. We can use the equation of motion to determine the velocity of the body which is dropped freely under gravity from this free surface and acquire a velocity at a height of h. So dropping a body freely under gravity from the rest, that is from the free surface, which rest means u is 0, from a height h from the free surface, means the ball is dropped from the free surface of the liquid and according a height or covering a distance of h, from the free surface, is given by the equation of motion. And you know one of the equation of motion is what? B square equals to u square plus 2gh. B square equals to u square plus 2gh. And this is under gravity. So when a body fall freely under gravity, then the acceleration is given by acceleration due to gravity. But the body falling from that free surface means this will mean the body is falling from the rest. So u is 0. So if I put this value also, u 0 plus 2gh, which means b square is also given by 2gh, which means same, b equals to square root of 2gh. So this is actually the velocity of the body falling from that height. Means this is also the velocity of liquid falling from a height, and under gravity. That means this velocity and the velocity of the efflux of the liquid that come out from the orifice is always what? Same. So children, I have written a point out here, that is the velocity of efflux of a liquid from the orifice, which equals to that velocity which the liquid acquires in falling freely from free surface of the liquid up to the orifice. Which means when liquid from this free surface fall, and acquire that liquid from the free surface, when it reaches to this height h, then definitely that liquid acquire a velocity, and that velocity is exactly equals to the velocity of the liquid that is come out from this velocity of efflux of the liquid come out from this orifice. By whatever velocity the liquid come out from this orifice is same as the velocity acquired by the liquid falling from the free surface acquiring a height h on this surface. So basically when liquid fall from this free surface to this height or to this distance, then definitely that liquid acquire velocity, and that velocity and the velocity of efflux of the liquid that come out from this orifice is exactly same. So this is the most important observation made by Torricelli, and the theorem which is proposed by himself is called Torricelli theorem. So the main objective of Torricelli theorem is to determine the velocity of efflux of the liquid. Now the next part that we need to understand, children, is after coming out from the orifice, the liquid definitely follow a path. So you can see the diagram, there is a path followed by the liquid, and this path followed by the liquid reaching to this bottom of the surface is basically parabolic. So what type of path is follows? Parabolic. The parabolic path followed by the liquid is expressed by the equation of what? Motion in a what? Plane. Because parabolic motion equaling what type of motion? Projectile motion. And this is the projectile motion, in which the liquid fall from this orifice at a height h, orifice at a height of h minus small h. So that then this liquid reached at this two position at the bottom, then definitely that distance, liquid acquire a distance, and that distance is called the range. We call also as a horizontal range. So the horizontal range acquired by the liquid after coming out from the orifice can also be calculated. But to calculate the horizontal range, we should know the time that is required by the liquid to reach from this orifice to this bottom. Okay, and when you know the time and the velocity in which the liquid come out, then we can determine the range, that is called horizontal range. So as I said already, that liquid follow parabolic path after emerging from the orifice. So what I do, I first calculate the time, that is time taken by the liquid to fall from that orifice to the bottom of the vessel. Okay, and that time I consider as small letter what? T. So I write small letter t is the time. Okay, this is the time. Okay, taken in falling what? Falling through. Okay, falling through a vertical height. Falling through a what height? Vertical height, and that vertical height, as you know, what is it? That is h minus small h. Okay, after emerging from what? We can write this way also, after emerging from the orifice. From the orifice. And this time we can easily calculate. But in order to calculate the time, we follow the equation motion. And one of the equation motion that we follow is S equals to ut plus half at square. Yes, this is also one of the equation motion. Now in this equation motion, S is the distance traveled by the liquid that is falling from orifice to the bottom, and that distance covered is actually equals to the height, the vertical height. That is equal to what height? Vertical height. So children, if you look at the diagram, this is the height or the distance traveled by the vertical distance traveled by the liquid falling from orifice to the bottom, equals to this u means the velocity liquid which is actually falling from that free surface, and we already assume that initially the liquid is at rest, so this will be 0 into t plus half. Now when it falls vertically, okay, and it falls under the gravity called acceleration to gravity, constant acceleration to gravity, so a is replaced by g, and this is t square. So from here I'll make t as the subject, so h minus small h equals to half gt square. So if I make t as the subject, so I write down t square first. This 2 will go up, h minus small h, and g will go in the denominator. So t square is 2h minus small h by g, which means small t means square root of 2h minus small h by what? G. So this is the time that is required for the liquid to fall from that orifice to the bottom. The children, one part you need to keep in mind out here is that when liquid come out from this orifice, it acquire a velocity, and that velocity is v, and this velocity is only called the velocity of efflux. But this is the horizontal velocity, because the direction of velocity is this side. But there is no acceleration on the horizontal direction. Okay, that's why this velocity remain constant throughout the path in which the liquid falls. That's why the velocity of efflux of the flowing liquid, okay, from that orifice is the horizontal velocity, component velocity, which remain constant as there is no acceleration in the horizontal direction. Okay, so once this is the horizontal velocity and we know the time taken is calculated, we can also calculate the horizontal distance covered by the liquid. So under this condition, we can measure the horizontal distance, as I said already, covered by the liquid, that is called horizontal range, is equals to x, and let me mark by symbol x, equals to horizontal component velocity means b into time, which is taken is what? T. So x equals to b into t. So b that we have already calculated, that is square root of 2gh. So children, this is the velocity of efflux. Into time that is already calculated is square root of 2h minus small h by what? G. Now let me combine it. So children, if I combine the square root, this is square root of 2gh into 2h minus small h by g. So that this g and g cancel out. Now 2 and 2 means 4. Square root of 4 means 2 only. It will be out from the square root. Inside the bracket it will be h minus h. So you can see what is the horizontal range or the horizontal distance covered by the liquid when it come out from the orifice is x equals to 2 square root of h, h capital H minus h. Now this relation says that, okay, the distance depend upon this height, h minus x. Okay, but this distance become maximum when this quantity inside the quantity, okay, become what? Maximum. That is, quantity inside this square root also become maximum. Now children, one important conclusion I want to explain from this relation: x equals to 2 square root of h bracket h minus h. 2 is constant. Now h and the product of h minus x is also x, which is a distance. But this relation shows that whether the orifice is at a depth h, or even that orifice is, say, at a depth h minus x from the free surface of the liquid, but the emerging liquid falls at the same distance, but the distance covered by the liquid emerged from the orifice always remain constant, whether the liquid orifice is at a height h or from the free surface, or at a height h minus x from the free surface, because their product is always x, which is constant. And this statement is called what? Torricelli theorem. Now, as I said already, that the value of x, this x is maximum. This value of x will be maximum when, okay, when h capital H minus square h, inside the square root h capital H minus small h become maximum. That means this quantity, when this quantity become maximum, then x also become maximum. Now we can calculate the maximum distance. Now as for derivative, as for differential calculus, children, when any quantity become maximum, then the differentiation of that quantity become 0, must be equals to 0. That means h differentiation of h minus x must be equals to 0, because in this relation h is the variable, height is keep on changing. The orifice can occur at any height. So the d by dh of h minus x become 0, means this become maximum. And when this become maximum, then x also become maximum. So we can calculate this value now. So children, when you do the derivation of this two quantity, okay, so it will be d by dh of h capital H minus d by dh of h square. Now h is the variable and capital H is constant. So I'll just take out h constant, is d by dh of h minus, now d by dh of h square is actually 2h equals to 0. Now let me just continue. H, d by dh of h is 1 minus 2h equals to 0. So finally you can see 2h equals to capital H, means h equals to h by 2, capital H by 2. That means when the height of the orifice is exactly h by 2, the half of the total height of the liquid, then your x become maximum. That means this h become maximum, and that h which become maximum is measured from this relation, that is given by 2 square root of h capital H minus h. So if h small h become h by 2, then this x become maximum, and this value can be easily calculated now. H I write on h by 2, sorry, this is h minus, now h I write on h by 2. So this is capital H, this is capital H, this is capital H. So when you do simplify in this quantity, you get exactly h. So your maximum horizontal displacement or distance covered by liquid will be capital H, that is equal to the height of the liquid, okay, contained in a vessel, when the liquid come out from the orifice actually at a height that is equal to h by 2. That means when the orifice is exactly made at the bottom of the middle part of the vessel, up to that total height, the liquid come out with the maximum distance, means liquid cover a maximum distance, and that maximum distance covered by the liquid equals to h. Now children, let me just tell you that out here I have used the formula of derivative. Actually the formula of d by dx of x is 1 in calculus, and d by dx of x square is 2x. So this actually are the differential calculus formula. I have deal already with this, okay. So you learn in mathematics also. The same formula I have used out here to find small h. Okay, so this is all about the velocity of efflux of a liquid, and we measure the maximum distance covered by the liquid when it comes out from the orifice at a height, okay, equals to h by 2. So we have completed the theory part of this chapter. Now there are few numericals that we need to do, then the chapter get completed. Thank you so much.